Inside the stories that affect you. This is Inside KELOLAND.
I'm Perry Groten. Thanks for joining us. The holiday shopping season is in full swing. That also means it's a time for giving. On this week's Inside KELOLAND, we're showing you the different ways you can give back. We talk with the Helpline Center and the Sioux Falls Area Community Foundation about why donating your money and time over the holidays is so important to our community. Plus, we'll hear from the McCrossin Boys Ranch about its Tree of Hope program and how you can make sure the boys at the facility receive a Christmas gift. Plus, we'll show you some other organizations hoping you'll donate to their causes over the holidays. Well, joining me now is Susie Reeks of the Helpline Center and Mary Colesroot from the Sioux Falls Area Community Foundation. Thanks for joining us for Inside KELOLAND.
Thank you for having us.
And I think, Susie, we'll start with you. Tell us about what the Helpline Center does as far as lining up people to donate for the holidays.
Yeah, so during the holidays, the Helpline Center puts out puts out holiday guides, and we have 4 different holiday guides that we have out on our website, or you can call 211 to get information off of them. So we have a guide that talks about volunteering in the community and what nonprofits could use volunteers during this holiday season. We also have a giving guide, so if you want to donate items or things that the agencies could give to their clients during the holidays, as well as special events that different nonprofits are putting on for fundraisers during the holidays. And then if yourself or you know somebody that's in need during the holidays, we have an assistance list as well. So if you just can't afford that meal or gifts during the holidays, there's nonprofit agencies out there that are willing to help.
And this just is not just for the Sioux Falls area. This is pretty much all statewide.
Yeah, so we have these lists for the Sioux Falls area, Brookings, and then the Black Hills and Rapid City as well.
What do people mostly like to do as far as donating their time or giving?
Yeah, so people are so giving during the holidays. We spend money on ourselves, so people definitely want to give back. So there's a wide variety of things people can do as far as volunteering. If you want to go out and ring a bell for the Salvation Army, you can do that. The Children's Inn has gift wrapping booth in the mall. So we really say that during the holidays is a great opportunity to get yourself and your family out there to help those that are in need and those that might be less fortunate than yourselves.
Well, Mary, let's talk about the mission of the Sioux Falls Area Community Foundation. What is the foundation all about?
Well, really, we exist at the Community Foundation to inspire philanthropy. And I think when you think of the word philanthropy, that can mean so many different things for different people. And when you look at Sioux Falls today, I don't think we'd be the community we are. We wouldn't have vibrant nonprofits without philanthropy. And so when we think about giving today of ourselves to create a better tomorrow, that's exactly why we're here. We are built on endowments so that we can give back not only today, but in future years as well. And sometimes I know when you say the word endowment, it can seem like a big scary word, and what does that actually mean? But it just means that we're preserving and stewarding those dollars so that these nonprofits can get a payout each and every year to support operations. And I always like to tell a few stories because I think it just connects with, wow, that's a really cool way to give back. And I think especially during the holiday season, as we're inspired to give back, hearing what others have done. A few of my favorite stories, one is Leo and Hazel Ruppert. They lived in Sioux Falls. They were married in 1936, and they came from humble beginnings, and they, really wanted to save up and buy a farm someday. And so they did that, and they worked hard over 40 years to have a successful farm. And Leo and Hazel didn't have any children, so after their lives, they gave a portion of their estate to charity.
Wow.
And I think that's such a beautiful way to give back, and just a different sense of it's how we carry our values on. And one of the beneficiaries of that estate that we are now privileged to steward is the banquet. And they gave to the banquet because they knew what it meant to be hungry, and so they wanted to give back. And I think that's just a beautiful way to carry on your values after your lifetime. And especially during this holiday season, another one of my favorite stories are the Dale and Dorothy Weir Endowment. And so Dale and Dorothy Weir were driving around, and Dale had asked Dorothy, well, what do you want this holiday season for a present? And they were on Minnesota Avenue and were going by a beautiful pine tree. And Dorothy said, well, I'd kind of like to see that lit up. She loved the joy of the holiday season. And so Dale surprised her with lighting the Christmas tree for the holiday season. And after Dorothy had passed, Dale came to the foundation to say, I'd really like to carry on that joy that Dorothy saw in the holiday spirit. And so he set up an endowment so that each year the foundation can pay to light the Christmas tree on Minnesota Avenue. And so I think as we think of philanthropy, there are different ways to give back, and we can all give back in our own means, but it's sometimes just those ways that carry on joy well after we're gone.
Yeah, and you don't have to break the bank really to do a philanthropic effort like that.
Absolutely. I think we all can give in our own ways, and as we look at the holiday season, I think Sioux Falls is amazing because of those who have given back. And so I think we constantly have to look at our blessings in our own lives and say, how can we give back a little bit more to help our neighbors in need?
And this week we have, of course, there's a Cyber Monday followed by Giving Tuesday. Who wants to talk about that? Giving Tuesday. What is that all about?
Yeah, Giving Tuesday is a national effort. Like you said, we have Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday. We're spending money on ourselves and our loved ones. And Giving Tuesday is really that time to reflect on giving back to others and giving to our neighbors in need. There's also a South Dakota Gives, which is built around the platform of Giving Tuesday, and nonprofits have signed up to be a part of South Dakota Gives. And so any donation you make on Giving Tuesday to those nonprofits, those dollars might be matched, they might be available for more award money, so that your dollars are being put to good use here in Sioux Falls.
Susie, what kind of impact do people have on the community when they donate their time or money?
I think a lot of nonprofits wouldn't be in existence if it wasn't for people in the community that either give their money or their time or their goods to those agencies. So, there's so much that comes from people that give back, and in reality, that feeling you get after you give back and take some time out to help others, you probably get more than you really give. So it's a great thing to do during the holidays.
And we're not talking about big commitments of time really either, are we?
No, during the holidays, these volunteer opportunities that are available are kind of one-time things. So you can take a couple hours out of your day to help those in need. So this is a great time to maybe start that tradition with your family or your friends as well.
And this is a service that's offered all year long, not just the holiday season.
Yes, yep. So the Helpline Center has a volunteer database right on our website. And for Sioux Falls, we have more than 600 different opportunities. And in Brookings and Rapid City, it's around 200 to 300 different volunteer opportunities that people can search through and get connected directly to those nonprofits.
Well, thank you both for joining us for Inside KELOLAND.
Thank you.
You bet. And coming up after the break, we'll talk with the McCrossin Boys Ranch about its Tree of Hope program. Inside KELOLAND is back right after this. Welcome back to Inside KELOLAND. This week we're showing you all the different ways you can give back this holiday season. Joining me now is Christy Menning with McCrossin Boys Ranch. Thanks for joining us, Christy.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, tell us about what is the mission of the McCrossin Boys Ranch.
Sure. We help boys ages 9 to 20 who are struggling. We try to provide new hope for a better life. Some of the boys are at McCrossin Boys Ranch because they've been abused, abandoned, or neglected. Some are there because they've gotten in trouble. Some of our boys have done some experimentation with drugs or alcohol that has, landed them at McCrossin Boys Ranch. And then we still have other boys that are just significantly behind in school. These kids are maybe a year or two behind where they should be for their age. And so we have a school designed to get them caught up. And so with a ton of different therapy programs and all of the, recreational opportunities that we have for them, academic opportunities, and of course those big horses that we have out at McCrossin's, we're able to make a big difference in their lives.
What is Christmas like for a lot of these boys at McCrossin's?
Christmas is tough. A lot of us watch these Hallmark movies. We're all kind of guilty of seeing what that picture-perfect Christmas looks like. And it's not that way for our boys. 60% of our boys will be right at McCrossin Boys Ranch on Christmas Day and probably the whole Christmas break as well. 40% of our boys do get to go home for the holidays. Many of those boys might come from poverty-level families and won't have much for Christmas. So at McCrossin's, we try to make it feel like family. Our staff put on a wonderful Christmas dinner. We serve them, we have a chef come and prepare a fine meal for them that they're not used to. Our staff are the waiters and waitresses that evening. Our executive director even washes the pots and pans, which the kids get a big kick out of. And so that's a tradition that we have at McCrossin Boys Ranch. And so they also get Christmas gifts. Many of the boys come back years later and tell us that Christmas at McCrossin's was the best Christmas they ever had.
And the community plays a big role in getting those gifts to these boys at McCrossin. Tell us about the Tree of Hope program.
Yeah, you bet. We have 2 tree locations at Shields in Sioux Falls and Hy-Vee on Minnesota Avenue. There's tags on those trees, and so people can go ahead and they can, either fulfill a whole child's wish list at McCrossin Boys Ranch or just pick up an item or 2. Our boys are looking for really general items. A lot of them have never gotten to really ask for something for Christmas. So this might be the first time they've ever written out a wish list.
Yeah.
And so seeing what they write is usually heartwarming. We have a lot of kids who will say that they'd like to have a family or things like that really can't be bought. But board games are really popular. Footballs and basketballs and sports stuff is really popular with our boys. Drawing supplies. The boys love to do art and drawing and stuff like that in their spare time. That's always really popular too. So it's just a nice way to help our boys, feel remembered over the holidays.
And what ages are we talking about as far as buying these gifts? What kind of age-appropriate gifts are we looking at?
Our little guys out at McCrossin's are as young as 9 years old, and then we have boys up until their 21st birthday, so up to 20 years old. And so we have really a wide range of ages out there for kids. But they all, they all appreciate it so much. And so just to know that someone's reaching out and remembering them on Christmas really warms their hearts.
The more gifts, the better, because you start seeing more kids coming into McCrossin at this time of year, right?
Yeah, the holidays are always really a busy time at McCrossin's. I think that we see a lot of families that struggle. They're stressed out over the holidays. Alcoholism becomes more prevalent in the homes. Abuse starts to show up more over the holidays because of the stress. And so we get a lot of kids the week of Christmas, the week before, even the day before Christmas, that will have kids show up on our doorstep at McCrossin's. And so, we appreciate general gifts as well, because we have these kids that show up so last minute. It's a busy time at the ranch.
How about just donations of money too? They would help too.
Yes, cash donations are always appreciated. People can go on our website at mccrossin.org and make those online. They can send them in the mail. We can buy gifts for people if they don't like shopping. We have people who can do that too. So, but we appreciate gifts to help make the holidays feel happy for the boys, to go towards that special meal or maybe an outing or 2 during the Christmas break.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for Inside KELOLAND, Christy.
Thank you.
And stay with us. After the break, we'll show you even more ways to give back over the holidays. Inside KELOLAND is back right after this. Welcome back to Inside KELOLAND. Over the last half hour, we've shown you all the good you can spread this holiday season. Here are a few other ways you can help out those in need. The banquet is collecting hygiene products for its guests. The nonprofit is teaming up with Lewis Drug for its Shower Our Guests with Care program. You can buy hygiene packets for $10 at Lewis Drug and then drop them off in boxes at the store. The banquet is hoping to gather 1,500 packages. It's also collecting family-sized laundry detergent, dishwashing liquid, and toilet paper. The St. Francis House also needs your help to make the holidays brighter for families in need. The organization needs people to adopt a family. This means your group will provide a Christmas for another family who may be struggling to make ends meet. When you are matched with a family, the St. Francis House will provide you with a gift list. You can choose from 3 different sizes of families depending on how much your group can give. If you'd like to help out, we've provided links on KELOLAND.com. Volunteers of America Dakotas is also asking for your help to spread some Christmas cheer this season. Every year, Lewis Stores in Sioux Falls and the VOA team up to provide those in need with Christmas gifts for the holiday season. But as KELOLAND's Max Hofer shows us, they can't do it without your help.
Lewis Stores around Sioux Falls are opening their doors and their hearts this holiday season with the annual VOA Spirit Trees.
People always coming in that we may have a tree full of tags, and in a day or two, especially as we get closer to the holiday season, well, there'll be 30 to 40 bags of gifts under that tree.
While the holiday season is a time for joy, For some, things can be less jovial.
People are disconnected from their family. They may be estranged from their family. They're going through a residential treatment program right now where there's no contact with their family. And through the holiday season, of course, family means everything.
When you walk into any Lewis, you'll find a tree with red tags. These tags have wants and needs written on them by those who are already receiving help from the VOA.
A want could be something like a hoodie sweatshirt. It could be a toy for a child. Those needs are more of the personal hygiene items, shampoo, body soap, along those lines.
Then shoppers can pull a tag off the tree, find the items, and set them under it for collection.
With that, we see probably gifts come in, near 500 gifts come in.
It's saying, hey, here's somebody you can help. And it's telling you how to do it, and then we'll get the gift delivered to them. I think just the ease of it and that good feeling that you get when you know you helped someone.
But it's not just the gifts that make this a gift worth giving.
Just knowing that they're supported by a larger community helps them during this holiday season.
And that was KELOLAND's Max Hofer reporting. Gifts must be collected by December 13th to make sure their participants have a gift to open during the holidays. A lot of people will be unwrapping gifts from family and friends this Christmas, but not everyone gets that opportunity. That's why a program is aiming to make the holidays a little better for a certain group of people. KELOLAND's Kelly Volk shows you how to get involved.
Christmas isn't what it used to be for Wilbert Nelson.
Your life really changes when you move, well, especially when you get older and your wife passes away and you're all of a sudden a single person. And your children are growing up and married and have their own lives. And
the 79-year-old lives at Sunnycrest Retirement Village in Sioux Falls. Fortunately, some holiday cheer followed him here, thanks to a program called Be a Santa to a Senior. You can buy a special gift for a senior simply by picking a paper ornament off of one of the trees set up all around town.
This tree is holding a wide variety of gift suggestions. This card says fruit basket. Meanwhile, another one on the tree asks for slippers and warm sweaters.
And this last year I got a variety of coloring books. I like to do adult coloring.
The program is put on by Home Instead Senior Care. Owner Jason Valder says about 700 seniors will get presents this year.
You know, Christmas has always been seems to always have been for kids, but a lot of times we find that, you know, some of the seniors in our community get forgotten.
And it's helping people like Nelson relive what Christmas used to be.
And to have Santa come and to refresh those memories is really a joy and a blessing.
In Sioux Falls, Kelly Volk, KELOLAND News.
Now, Nelson remarried this year. If you want to be a Santa to a senior, you can find the trees at several Lewis stores in Sioux Falls and Fireplace Professionals on 41st Street. You can find the full list on KELOLAND.com. Well, we are getting ready for our final Keep KELOLAND Warm coat distribution of the year. Families who need a warm jacket can pick up winter gear at the Bishop Dudley Hospitality House on Thursday, December 5th from 1 to 3 p.m. Thank you to everyone who donated hundreds of coats, hats, gloves, and boots for this year's Keep KELOLAND Warm. For more ways to give back to this holiday season, we've created a list of volunteer opportunities and organizations that need your donations on KELOLAND.com. Well, coming up after the break, we'll introduce you to a few volunteers who have put in 1,200 hours of service this year. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. As we've shown you over this last half hour, volunteering is an important part of the holidays. 3 volunteers at Reach Literacy know that all too well since they've been able to serve over 1,000 hours this past year. Yeah. Welcome back. As we've shown you over the last half hour, volunteering is an important part of the holidays. 3 volunteers at Reach Literacy know that all too well since they've been able to serve over 1,000 hours just this year. KELOLAND's Sarah McDonald explains why they're out helping this organization.
You'll find thousands of books throughout the Reach Literacy bookstore. But before these books make it to the shelves, It's up to these volunteers to sort them and make sure everything goes to the right place.
The hours that we put in, the three of us just really love it here, and we believe in the mission of helping people learn to read.
Mary Cool has volunteered for REACH since 2016.
My son was graduating from high school and I was finishing up teaching, so I thought it would be a good opportunity. I started with tutoring and then I moved into the bookstore.
Cool, along with 2 other volunteers, Shauna Bushy and Teresa Montoya, have volunteered 1,200 hours combined this year.
I come in 2 to 3 times a week depending on how much donations we get. I usually do a Monday, Friday, quite regularly, and that's my main volunteering part is the sorting. I also take care of all the book requests, any book requests that we have come in. I keep that list current so that when we are sorting, we know what we're looking for.
It's fun to be able to see the joy on someone's face when they find a book they've been looking for.
These are just some of the organization's dedicated volunteers that help make everything go smoothly at the bookstore.
At any given time, the volunteer that works here, they will help accept books that we get for donation. They spend a ton of time sorting books. They do inventory for us. They wait on customers. They give out teacher grants. They basically run the entire store.
For these 3 volunteers, donating their time was an easy choice.
With the bookstore, I love it because it's everything I've always wanted, because I love to read. I was a former English and reading teacher, and so I can talk about books to people and I can help with decorating around here. It's all the stuff I love to do.
Gives you a sense of purpose. I feel really proud to volunteer for the literacy part also, just because it's very important, I think, to read and to help people that maybe struggle with reading and that kind of thing. So it's very fulfilling for me.
For me, I guess I've always been passionate about reading, that my mom taught my brother and I to read before we were even in kindergarten. And as kids, we were always in the summer reading contest, and I cannot imagine a life where I couldn't read every day.
Executive Director Paige Sarda says there are about 70 active volunteers at the bookstore. She says there's always opportunities to get involved, something these 3 say is worth your time.
I think it's a great way to get involved. If you only have a couple hours, we have one night where we're working 4 to 7, if you can do that, or on Saturdays. If you are retired and you're a reader and you love to talk about books, this would be a great place to come in and work.
Sioux Falls, it's been my home since I was like 1.5, and just being able to give back to the community, that has been wonderful for me.
I just enjoy what I do, so I don't even think about it as even volunteering or work. It's just something that I love to do.
So the next time you come to this bookstore, know devoted volunteers are here to help make it happen. With Eye on KELOLAND, I'm Sarah McDonald.
And that's all the time we have for this week's Inside KELOLAND. You can find out more about today's topics online at KELOLAND.com. Join us every Sunday following the 10 o'clock news right here on KELOLAND TV. Have a great night, everyone.